Are you teaching again this year or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, for those of you sporting people, try to be somewhat specific in the criteria that you're looking for. Obviously stats, we know that. I mean, you're going to use stats to help compare them, but what specific stats? Like, I just looked at Casey's and he did a pretty good job of that. He's like got total yards, yards per carry, carries, starts, touchdowns. So he's going to be finding more specific stats that will help him to compare. So if you know of some of those kinds of specific stats for your sport, then go ahead and look for those things right up front, rather than just stats in general. Okay? All right. It looks like most people have at least a few ideas for criteria. Some of this will take shape too as you get into the research process. You might encounter information along the way that helps you to clarify how you're going to compare these to one another. But research is a lot easier and more efficient if you do have an idea going into it what you're looking for. Otherwise, you could spend an hour, a whole hour, just reading through articles, hoping to find something and end up with nothing. So if you know what you're looking for as you start, you can narrow your search and focus your search on that, and hopefully be more successful in finding sources that are relevant to you. Okay? So we're going to set this aside for now, because we do have some other things to work on today, more specifically MLA, right? And I'm going to call up Mr. Schlinsog. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's going to work with you guys a little bit today on MLA.
From what?
It's so good.
My mom's like, ask what kind of steaks they have. I was like, no, but what kind of cheesecake?
I'll bring it tomorrow. I'll bring the thing tomorrow. There's like
raspberry cheesecake?
Raspberry, strawberry.
Chocolate. There's not chocolate on my mind.
Plain, yeah, there's chocolate.
Nope. You gotta think about it.
I don't. Yeah, yeah, we gotta get close.
You know what our fundraiser is?
Alright guys, we're going to talk about MLA today, and how, because we're going to be using it to cite your sources, and the important thing is having a works cited page. How many have used MLA before? Most of you, I suppose, already forgot. Can anybody tell me why it's important that we use MLA? Like why, if someone else is reading your paper, why it's important to have works cited pages? Exactly, because it's your job to be part of this community, be able to say that I didn't steal this work, this is my own, and I just borrowed somebody else's and gave them credit. Can anybody else tell me why it's important to have specifically a works cited page, to have everything in exact order and have, because MLA, as many you know, is pretty picky about how you put things in order and how you do things. Why is it that way? Why is it important to have, say, the author first? Okay, that's part of it, so they can tell if your work is credible. Is there any other reason? Say you're looking at the in-text citation, you're like, oh, this is from Best Hop on page 11. Well, if you want to check that, it makes it easier to check, doesn't it? If you just go to the works cited page and everything's in order, you're like, all right, I have to find something by Best Hop. Or if they don't have that, they just have the title of the article. Then you can just check the article, title of the article, and be like, oh, this is exactly where it is, this is where they found all this information. What we're going to do today is we're going to be doing, practicing this with magazines and books. And it's important that you guys have these when you're in the library to be able to know exactly how to find these. I know most of you know websites that you can find to do this for you. And that's great. It's a great tool to have. How many have used a citation machine before?
Like EasyBib.
EasyBib? Okay, that's what I thought. Most of you haven't, which is interesting to me actually, because when I was in high school it was the thing to do, because MLA is so picky and so nitpicky about everything that you want to just be able to do it. but knowing how to do it makes using these machines that much easier. Say you wanted to do a magazine article. If you don't know where to find all this stuff, and you just start entering information, it's going to come up wrong. It's going to be wrong on the thing, but you have to make sure to double check. That's the important part. Is to double check, see you can put the author's last name, first name, title of the article. If you don't know that stuff and you get one of these things mixed up and you just print it out without double checking it, it's going to be wrong, and then you're going to lose points because you didn't really do it, and it makes it pretty obvious to us that you didn't learn what you were supposed to learn. Like I've been saying, it's pretty nitpicky about its things. So this one makes it kind of easier to figure out what everything you need. If you were using a, say, a website or a journal article, a lot of times if you just find the author, you don't know where to put it. Or if you're just looking at the, actually I have a handout. This handout is a guide for everything. It's a guide for almost anything you ever probably use in terms of this project. And when you're looking at this, you'll see that there's so many things on here, so many different aspects to it that it could be pretty confusing if you don't know exactly what everything is.
Right.
Well, what this website is showing you with the color coding is it makes it pretty easy to tell where everything is. Like if you're looking for an author, the authors are in blue. Or if you're looking for where to put the title of the article is in red. And what you have to make sure to do, and what I noticed in the last class, what people were having trouble doing was making sure you have the punctuation in the right places. Because the punctuation makes it so it separates what else everything is, and it makes it important and easier for people to read. And what we're going to practice now is working with magazines. And in the box over here, there's magazines for you guys to pick out, and you're going to practice. You're going to practice citing the magazine that you pick. And one way we can do that is see an example of that. Right here. This is an example that we have for magazines. So if you guys want to just grab a magazine from the box over there and do some practice for citations.
Magazine articles are on the back side of that reference sheet you just got.
You're saying that like, seriously like,
No, dude, I was seriously
You can still write with it.
and it cracked. You know, like this, and I'm like,
Yeah. Want some US today?
Got something interesting, everybody.
I got you one.
Hey.
Or not.
yeah, way to go, Josh.
Doesn't matter what magazine, just grab one, find an article.
Go find me an article, dude. Hey, why don't you go scratch Anna's leg 2 minutes ago?
Brian, I will come back there.
what did she say?
They weren't honestly scratching her legs.
I saw you. Your arm was over there.
No, not today.
Yup. You were like this, and then Anna's like, woo! And then you kept scratching.
USA Today.
That's even more weird.
US?
Yeah, that's annoying.
Where's the sports?
Josh, are you getting more?
Yeah, Brian, I got you all.
Maybe some like bad one.
U.S. Survivor.
I got the U.S. Women of the Year.
What's up with this U.S.? Us. U.S. whatever.
Brian,
Somebody get with him.
And I want new ones. You should all
Boarding schools. Yes, news, yes.
Alright guys, so you have a magazine. You can find any article in it. But then what you need to do is you need to cite it. So on the back of this first page, in this reference sheet you just got, near the top it has a magazine article. This is the format that you need to use. But in case you're not sure what piece is what, we'll just, I'll put that color-coded resource up on the overhead here, and that should kind of help you to pick out the pieces of information you need. Okay, so when it pops up, we'll go through it real quick to show you